y'all, welcome back to another 1v1 with Ted. Right now, we're going to do a tier list on teams based off of watchability. To be honest with y'all, this is my second time recording this because I accidentally deleted all the fucking footage like a dumbass. But yeah, let's start off with this one. First team we got up is the Atlanta Hawks. I had them in because they're and everything about them is But if you're a Hawks fan, you probably have them higher because you have more hopes for them. Up next with the Celtics, they're the best team in the league. What do y'all think? Peak hoops. Regardless of how boring you might think basketball is by watching them, it's the Boston Celtics, the best team in basketball, and they're the most fluid offense in basketball right now. So they have to be at peak hoops. Could not pay me to watch the Nets, even if it was a mill. Charlotte, don't sleep. I really do like LaMelo Ball. I really enjoy a lot of their players, even him who should not be named. They're all very fun to watch, enjoyable. Just overall, good basketball I expect to come from that team. Chicago Bulls also could not pay me because why the fuck would I want to see a Josh Giddey Vooch pick and roll? I love Kobe White though. I feel bad for Kobe White. I fuck with Ayo Dosunmu too. Who else do I fuck with on that team? They still got Drummond? Probably. Who else on that team, bro? I mean, like they got Pat Williams, who like he's kind of a stinker. Oh, I'll be real. He kind of a fucking stinker. I'll be real. To be honest, man. I like he was one of the players I was really high on coming into the draft, but ever since he's just been ass. And it's not really his fault. They took the keys away from him so they could get like mediocre players. Like I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan is mediocre, but I'm saying like winning wise, they're going to be mediocre anyway. But yeah, I'm not watching the Bulls. The Cavs, I had them as the first seed, so I'd be a hypocrite not to have them at peak hoops. I do think last season they were very entertaining to watch. I really do like the way that Donovan Mitchell plays basketball. Darius Garland is coming off of a down year, but everything that happened to him was showing down here. He like lost a lot of weight, had that injury in his jaw. He even said himself he lost a love in basketball. So, and ESPN made a graphic for that quote. Finna go platinum. Finna go fucking platinum. But I must say, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. I really do like Evan Mobley. I fuck with Jared Allen. Just an overall good team that has a lot of entertaining players. So yeah, they're gonna be at peak hoops. Mavs, they just want to ring. They have Klay Thompson, Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving. They're a very polarizing team though at times because people don't like the way Luka plays. He's very ball centric, and he also gets a lot of foul calls. But regardless of if you don't like how Luka plays, you definitely love how Kyrie Irving plays. So you're gonna watch the Mavs, regardless of how you feel about anything else. Klay Thompson on a different team should make people watch this because it's been like how many years? 13 years, and this is his first time on a different team. So you should definitely be locked in on this team. I'm going to be locked in on the Mavs because I think Luka's an MVP. Denver Nuggets, I had them at top tier, and they will stay there. They are not at the same tier as people that I have above them when it comes to watchability because I don't think Jokic is the most entertaining player to watch. I'm not saying he's not entertaining, but in comparison to the other teams and other players in general, I just think their system is too predicated on him playing slowly. And Jamal Murray, when he's on, he's on, but when he's off, stink. And when MPJ's off, he might as well not be on the court. I really don't like MPJ on this team. I think he's going to probably get traded. It's a simple truth. It's the simple truth. Detroit Pistons. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on the Pistons. It's that simple. If you want to sleep, you can. Get a pillow. But you'll be alone on that, pal. I'm telling you right now. We are going to see the best Detroit Pistons team of the 2020s this year. I said they're going to make the play-in, and I firmly stand on that. Like, I genuinely stand on them making the play-in, having a good run, making a lot of good moves, good choices, just being an overall good team. I like that they have a new coach that actually gives a fuck because, shit, we saw what Monty was on, so anyway, they have a coach that cares. They have a lot more vets around them. They have a lot more spacing. Asar Thompson is must-see TV to me, just based off of his athleticism and just the way he plays basketball. So yeah, don't sleep on him. Next team is the Warriors. It's my favorite team in the NBA. They have to be in peak hoops, and if I was to rank them based off of order, they'd be at the top of the order because I'm gonna watch every Warriors game. Every time I have a chance to watch a Warriors game, I'm gonna watch it. Stephen Curry, must see TV until the end of his career. I can't think of nobody else. But it's like if you like, this is a good season for if we terrorize your team for the last couple of years because now you can see us lose and be bad. So Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you, but I'm gonna still enjoy my team. I'm gonna still enjoy watching Stephen Curry, even though I'm gonna come onto the pod multiple times and say I'm done watching the Warriors. fuck the Warriors. I'm going to do that all the time. I'm just an emotional fan. I'm going to feel that way, but I'm going to still watch every game. Up next is the Houston Rockets. Don't sleep on the Rockets. Do not sleep on the Rockets. Like I said before, I said it on the standings video. I had them being like a 7 or 6 seed. I really do believe that they're one of the better teams in the league offensively. I think they have one of the better rosters on the league. I don't really understand what their front office is doing though. Recently, there was a report. I think it came out today that they're not going to give Sengun or Jalen Green a max. So I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with that money. I can tell you that much. But they said they're not giving them max deals, which I could understand someone saying that Jalen Green's not worth the max deal. Sengun, I think he's more worth the max deal than Jalen Green, but I can understand the argument for why they're both not worth that. It's just the fact of what are you going to get in replacement? Why would you say that report and then ruin the rebuild that you've been building on just to rebuild again with less pieces and older players? It just doesn't make sense to me in my head. Up next with the Indiana Pacers, don't sleep. They're not on the same tier as Denver when it comes to watchability, but they still have somebody like Tyrese Halliburton who's very entertaining. Big fan of Tyrese's game, but they don't have anybody that's like eye-poppingly good, if that makes sense. Like I'm not watching this and I'm like, oh man, unless Tyrese pulls up on some MVP shit. But I'm not watching this shit like, oh man, Pascal Siakam, the mid ranges is fucking crazy. So unless somebody's like on a heater, I'm cool. Like I'd rather watch a few teams above them, but they're not in like a low tier. They just don't sleep. Next with the Clippers, depleted team even with Kawhi, like including Kawhi's injury. Before that, they just lost Paul George, just lost Russell Westbrook. Re-signed Zubac. He's one of the most underrated like centers in the league, but they're not necessarily the most entertaining team to me to watch. I would have them in not bad. First few weeks though, I'm gonna be honest, I'm watching all these teams OD because I'm gonna have like that NBA mindset. I'm gonna watch every game, and I'm gonna watch a lot of games. But shit, once it gets down to the nitty gritty of the season, Clippers is gonna probably be off the agenda. Up next, this might come as a surprise to a lot of people. The Lakers are not gonna make peak hoops. They're gonna stand top tier. And the reason why I say that is because rookie head coach. I love LeBron James. I love Anthony Davis, but the rest of it is like, I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about Austin Reeves right now. He's like 27, I believe. I don't know how to feel. D'Lo, he has good moments, but I don't know how to feel about D'Lo on a regular basis to put him in top tier hoops. I just like their center position is wishy washy. I don't know if AD is going to play center or power forward. It's just a confusing team with a lot of moving pieces. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. It's just like I'd rather watch the teams above them. Next, I have the Grizzlies. Once again, I had the Grizzlies and a top seed of the West. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't have them here. And I do think they're going to be very entertaining to watch. I will likely not miss many Grizzlies games. The Grizzlies are one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion, especially with John Morant back in. Zach Edey's going to be very entertaining to watch to me, even though, shit, I'm never sitting in front of Enrique. He is the leader of the Zach Edey fan club. Up next, we have the Miami Heat. So in case y'all didn't hear me in the beginning, this is my second time filming this because I messed up a little things on this end. But I asked Enrique to come in the room and like decide where I should put them, and he kind of convinced me to put them into Don't Sleep. Their team, I could see them being entertaining. They have a lot of new pieces coming in, and by new pieces, I just mean the Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero like duo hasn't really been seen on the court as much as we expected them to be seen due to injuries and stuff like that. Jimmy Butler, he looks like a serious basketball player this year, which shouldn't really be a thing that we say out loud, but he's really not been on that in the regular season at least. Bam Adebayo, he's incorporating the three-point shot into his like game, so it's going to be a lot more entertaining to watch. And I just want to see if they make moves. Somebody like Pat Riley, he's known to just be a lazy fuck during the trade deadline. If they're at like a 500 level, he might just sit on his cards, bro. He might just say, fuck it. Jimmy Butler might leave in the offseason, but we're going to ride that season out. Up next with the Milwaukee Bucks, one of my favorite players in the league is on this team. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame get another season together. I'm very interested to see how Doc Rivers is as a coach on this team because Doc as a coach is just like, I don't know how to say this in a kind way, ass. He's a bad coach to me. He's not good. He's not like eye-popping. He's very old school to like his own fault to the point where it's like, okay, we understand you want to sit on, like you want to stand by your idea and rhetoric, but make some adjustments. Man. Like I've seen too many situations where like his teams just lose focus and he doesn't take the reins as a coach and make adjustments, make changes, do anything to really fix up what's going on the team. So by that, I'm really interested to see how him and Giannis are as a dynamic. I think that Damian Lillard is going to have a lot better season than last year, especially efficiency wise. And I like the addition of Gary Trent. I want to see what they do with Brooke Lopez and people like what's his name? Fucking what's his name, bro? Crazy Eyes. Bobby Portis. I think they might trade him as well. There's just a lot of different options for this team, and I don't know what they're gonna do with them. I'm excited to see though. So I'll put them at peak hoops. And I think Giannis is gonna be top 3 for MVP again. Minnesota Timberwolves. I had the same discussion last time, and I was kind of at this area when the video ended last time. Do I really like the Minnesota Timberwolves just because of Ant, or do I really like the Minnesota Timberwolves because I want to see how he works with Julius Randle and like how Rudy Gobert is able to still like kind of not be a big ass fucking like void, basically, if that makes sense, on offense and actually make like an impact with them losing an offensive like pillar of their team like Cat. I think it's mainly Ant, and that's why I put them at peak hoops. I think Anthony Edwards, like I said in our last video when we were doing awards, I think Ant is going to be an MVP candidate. So like an MVP candidate at all. If I think they're going to be in the MVP race, they're at peak hoops probably. like I'm very excited to see how they go. I'm excited to see how him and Julius Randle do coexist though, and I'm excited to see how Dante DiVincenzo is on this team. Differences like that, how they improve. There's just so many things that this team has that I want to see. Next up, we have the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans are in don't sleep. I can't really put them anywhere else. They're just a weird team. They're in a weird place because they have such a good like starting five. They don't have a five though. They want to start Herb at the five. So I can't really rank them highly, but I also can't be like, oh, just because they don't have a five, they're not going to be a top. They're not going to be fun to watch. That's ignorant because they're going to still be fun to watch probably, but like I don't know if I watched them as much as I watched with the Lakers or the Denver Nuggets. But last season I was really tuned in with the Pelicans. I really do like Zion's game. I think he's one of the most entertaining players, especially around the rim, of course. He's also a pretty good playmaker. Same thing with Brandon Ingram, incredibly fun to watch. And I also want to see the dynamic that they have with DeJounte Murray, another player that I watched a lot of last season on the Hawks, especially when Trae Young got hurt. There's just so much on that team that I like that I feel weird about having them and don't sleep. But I can't put them in top tier because it's like they're gonna not be that good because of their limitations. They have so many liabilities that they're not going to be at the level of these other teams. Simply put. Up next, we have the New York Knicks. This might piss off some Knicks fans. Do y'all still be saying Bing Bong? I ain't seen that in the grip, but I'll put them at top tier. The reason why I put them at top tier is because they're the same. They're the same identity to me, like when it comes to watchability, as the Timberwolves, except that they don't have an MVP candidate to me. And I know that might piss some people off because they view Jalen Brunson as an MVP candidate. I truly don't think he's going to be in the top 5. I could see him being like top 10, which is cool, but top 5 is where I really like. That's where I ended at. I don't really care about the top 10. I only care about the top 5 MVP candidates. And I don't think Jalen Brunson is going to be there. I am really intrigued to see how Cat fits in. I'm intrigued to see how Mikal Bridges fits in with this team. And OG Anunoby, you know, how their center position is going to go because Cat has played the 5 for most of his career. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if we want him playing the 5 still. Last season, we showed like he showed that he was at his best at the 4, especially next to somebody that can defend in the interior. And the Knicks have that with Mitch Robinson. It's just that do they really have that? Like, is he gonna be on the court? Is he gonna be playing? Are they gonna do a move for a center that's available? Do I really see them getting somebody like a Walker Kessler? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to keep them at top tier, but I'm still gonna watch a lot of Knicks games. Okay, see Thunder, pretty obvious. Top tier, peak hoops, peak hoops, peak hoops, peak hoops. Obviously, peak hoops not really a discussion to have. They have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They just got 2 really great pieces on their team with Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. They're a deep team. They're going to be one of the best teams to watch in basketball. I could see them easily being a top 3 seed. I think I had them second. Shout out to the Thunder. They made a lot of great moves in the offseason. Up next, we have Orlando. Fuck. Okay. The Orlando Magic. Paulo Banchero was my dark horse MVP. Fun fact. I really like Jalen Suggs. I really like Franz Wagner as a player. I think he's kind of overrated by the nerds of basketball. I say that all the time. It's the truth. I really, really like Anthony Black. I liked him back when he was in college. Wendell Carter is one of the more underrated players in the league. I was tempted to put him on the center list. Power forward list coming soon, by the way, y'all. But hey, I'm gonna put him in top tier. All right, listen. I know y'all might be like, Orlando is not going to be as good as those teams. That's not the fucking point. I think the Warriors are going to be like a 40 win team max. So, like, wins don't matter to me when it comes to this shit. Of course, being a good team means that you're fun to watch, but also there's bad teams that are not. Like Charlotte's going to be fun to watch. They're a bad team, but that doesn't mean that like every bad team is going to be good. Every bad team is going to be bad. Basically, what I'm saying is seeding doesn't matter in this list. It doesn't matter at all. The Magic, I have them at top tier. I really like Paolo's game. I like the way they played last year. They were very defensively like dominant. I really like their defense a lot. So I have to put them in the top tier. I'm a really big fan of like what defenses can do in this current NBA. And I also want to see if they make a move because they have a lot of pieces that are really just there. I want to see if they can make a move to get probably like a better center or a better like shooting guard. Even though they just got KCP, he's a role player. If they can get a star, or like even like a star point guard, and then move Jalen Green to the two, they'll be up. Up next for the Sixers. How do I feel about the Sixers? It's obviously between peak hoops and top tier. Just got Paul George, but Paul George is hurt. I don't know how long he'll last. I mean, I don't know how long he's gonna be out for. Tyrese Maxey is always gonna be a lot of fun. And beating the regular season, beating up on teams like the Wizards, is peak basketball. I'm gonna put him at top tier. I'll put him at top tier because I really don't. I won't say Embiid is kind of like. Let's be real, bro. Big men are sometimes boring to watch, bro. And like Embiid can be boring to watch at times. I love when he gets dominant, but bro, when he starts getting to the free throw line a lot and slows down the game, I understand it's great basketball for him. But fuck, like it's slow paced, and it's just not fun for me. Up next, we have the Phoenix Suns, and that is peak hoops to me. Peak hoops. They got a point guard. Please start Tyus Jones. Please. Mike. Bud. I know I'm a hater. If y'all knew me back when he was on the Bucks, man, I thought he was a bad coach. But you know how to make players move that ball around. You know how to make them move that rock. Don't worry about it. Just start Tyus, bench, Brad, Beal, and the team with dead ass. If they do that, the Suns have a chance to be a top 5 seed in my eyes because they have a real point guard and everyone's playing the position they will thrive the most in. I think that they'll be top tier hoops though because I really like the addition of somebody like Tyus Jones. I like the way that Grayson Allen looked last year. He was the second best shooter in the league statistically. Devin Booker's always going to be must watch TV. So is Kevin Durant. So it's not really much of a debate to be had about that. It's must see television. Next we have Portland. I'm putting Portland in not bad. And I know above the Hawks is crazy. I'm very, very, very intrigued with Scoot Henderson. I'm intrigued with Scoot. I'm intrigued to see what they do with DeAndre Ayton because last season was a low-key breakout for him. He was very, very good. But they also just drafted somebody like Donovan Clingan. So are they going to do a lineup where it's like Scoot Henderson? I don't even know who they have as shooting guard. Probably like Shaden Sharp, but I think got hurt. Or Anthony Simons. At the 3 is Jeremy Grant, or they trade Grant finally, which they should have been done. And then at the 4 they have Ayton, and then at the 5 they have Clingan. Or do they trade Ayton? That's something that's really intriguing to my like. I like the way it sounds to me because Ayton really proved to me that he could be a pivotal player on a contender last year. Even though he's not the best defender, he is still a very, very good offensive big that can get you a lot of boards, a lot of second chances. And I'm excited to see him on a different team. But on the Blazers, I can see him fitting in there. And I really do want to see how Scooter Henderson improves. He's one of the more. I mean, I'm not even gonna say he's one of the more hated on like rookies of last year. It's just the way that NBA Twitter and like Twitter in general is now. It's just a bunch of hating and like dick eating and shit. So there's always gonna be dick eaters for like younger players and they're not playing well. But I haven't been that bad. The Kings, I put my don't sleep. I really do like DeMar DeRozan's game. I like watching him play basketball. He's a very fun guy to watch play. Like his mid ranges are like clean, crisp. He's just a crisp basketball player. Yeah, I really do like the way the Kings got DeMar DeRozan. That's another player that's really his athleticism is kind of underrated. I like him as an athletic player, but I will have to keep them and don't sleep because they're definitely not top tier. The Spurs, I know, Wemby, Chris Paul, a lot of players, a lot of must see TV is screaming from this team. Probably should put them at peak hoops, bottom of top tier. The reason why I do think Wemby is must see TV, and I will watch a lot of the Spurs. Don't get me wrong. Just because they're not in the top tier doesn't mean that they're not like a very, very entertaining and intriguing team. It's just the fact that other than Wemby, like Devin Vassell intrigues me. I really do like Devin Vassell as a player, but like, bro, I don't fucking care about Jeremy Sohan. I don't give a fuck about Harrison. Like, I don't care about half of the people on that team. Like, genuinely speaking, I could not give less of a fuck about half of the players on that team. Honestly. And it's not even me trying to be like weird about it. I don't fucking care about them. So I can't really be like, oh, Wemby takes them all the way to peak hoops. He takes them to top tier. Peak hoops is kind of dragging it though. Up next is the Toronto Raptors. Toronto. It's hard for a person like me to pick on Toronto right now because there's a lot of players on Toronto that I really like. I'm a big fan of RJ Barrett, big fan of Emmanuel Quickly. Really, 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 really do like Scotty Barnes as a player. I think that what Jakob Pertl was really, really like what he said was really smart and really like correct about the team. I do think that they should be in a developmental rebuilding phase. So those players will get a lot of the keys, see how they play on the team, look around, really like just like enjoy the time that they have to grow and get back to the point where they're in the finals again competing. So I think this year's the year that they go into don't sleep though. Are they in the same tier as somebody like the Miami Heat, Kings, Pacers? Nah, nah. They're not bad though. Not bad. I think that RJ Barrett is low key a sleeper for most improved player. I can see him averaging like 28. He's a very, very, he's a very, very, very good offensive player. And especially last season when he went to the Raptors, you saw a big increase in his statistical output, even though he went through something. RIP to his, I believe, his brother and his father. RIP to both of them. But at the end of the day, he's a very good basketball player, and I'm looking forward to how he is playing next season. Up next, we have the Utah Jazz. Like I fuck with Laurie Markkinen, but Colin Sexton cool, but I guess like I don't have a strong take about the Jazz. They're just the fucking Jazz. So up next we have the Wizards. Let me give y'all some promo for the Wizards. Jordan Poole really a hooper this season. He really comes back and he locks in and he takes care of his body and his mind and he reaches a new level of basketball. Kyle Kuzma gets traded for a young player that brings excitement to Washington. Malcolm Brogdon. Man, couldn't pay me to watch these motherfuckers, bro. You couldn't pay me. You could not pay me to watch the Wizards right now. But they might be okay, maybe. I don't know. There's not really much to say about the Wizards, just like there's not that much to say about the Jazz. But now that we're done putting them in a vague place, I'm gonna rank them based off of order. So peak hoops is looking like I'll probably have Memphis right there. Bucks or Cavs when it comes to. I'll leave the Cavs right there, and I think the Suns will be above both of those teams. Not above the Cavs, though. I'll leave them right there. For top tier, I think the Lakers and the Knicks should be at the top. I think the Knicks are at the top, though. I said that the Spurs are at the bottom of top tier, very much so. I think that the Sixers are above the Magic, but Denver stays right there. For don't sleep, Indiana's definitely the top. I'll give them that. Miami could get second, though. And I don't think y'all go like my third, but shit. It's a gimmick that I got to stay with. Detroit's number 3, Houston's number 4, and then the New Orleans Pelicans is right there. Charlotte's gonna be at the bottom, but don't sleep. They're all around the same tier for me. Don't sleep on them. Peak hoops and top tier have a lot bigger gaps to me than don't sleep does. Now in the not bad tier, only thing I'm gonna change is put Toronto above Portland. I think the Clippers are heads and like they're a lot better than both of those teams, genuinely speaking. But they're just like they can't be in don't sleep, and they're barely more watchable than those teams. But I have them above. For it's gonna stay the same, and for couldn't pay me, it's gonna stay the same. I'm being dead serious. I think in total I'm gonna watch 2 Bulls games, and it's gonna be the 2 games that they play the Warriors. So yeah, let me know how y'all feel about my tier list. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all for watching. I'm gonna start uploading these solos a lot more. New pod coming soon where we do power forwards. Let me know how y'all feel about my tier list down below. And peace.